Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, August the 18th, 2023. Friday, August the 18th. Well, let's see what's going on. Tucker wakes up and Ashley is sitting over at the little table with one little chair over there against the window, boo-hoo and face looking tore down, right? Oh, and he's like, what is going on? And she goes, I made a mistake. And he goes, wait, mistake about what? And then she's talking about marrying you. And oh, he doesn't understand it. So she says, where were you last night? He said, I went to the bar and I had a drink. And she said, I know you went to the bar and I know you had a drink. You had a drink with Nate because when I woke up, you weren't here. So I went looking for you and I saw you at the bar having a drink with Nate. Now, let's listen to the story, everybody. This is their wedding night. They had just had a great roll in the hay, pooped her out. She wakes up, he's not there. I guess she threw on something because she didn't go down in a row. She saw he was at the bar with Nate. Wouldn't you just come over and have a drink with him? Right? Wouldn't you just do that? Because that's innocent enough, right? She says, and then I saw you leave the bar leave Nate, and then you went up to Audra's room and you went in. And oh, she's like, how could you? And blah, blah, blah. And Tucker's like, look. See, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, after you saw this, you obviously went back to your hotel room. What, was he gone for hours? Because it couldn't have been. Audra got rid of him pretty lickety split, now didn't she? Okay. So the next thought came out of my mind. It's my wedding night. I already feel like I need to spy on my man. I didn't spy on him all the other times that we were engaged and still living together, right? So he leaves the bar. I guess she was hiding over the air, like if you go into the jazz lounge. She tiptoes after him. See, that place does not have an elevator. That's what's crazy, right? It is 10 stories high. So she follows him undetected to Audra's room. He goes in. I don't know about you ladies, but what would you have done in that situation? Oh, I would have broke the door down, banging on that door. Seriously, saying, Tucker McCall, get your out here now. Or just been banging, 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 banging until Audra opened the door. I may not have even said anything. Bang, 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 bang. And make sure I had my little thumb over the peephole because the doors at the GCAC got peepholes. Hand over the peephole, bang, 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 bang. And Audra would have opened it up saying, what is the what? She would have seen Tucker and she would have seen Kyle, right? And if I needed to say anything, I would say, I saw you come in here. I wouldn't be trying to hide. I saw you come in here and I want to know what was going on here. Okay, Audra, so this is where your room is? This is your room number 503? Oh, because I'm gonna remember it and know it, girl. Right? But no, she don't even do no, she just goes back and now she's been up all night. Oh, come on, Ashley. So anyway, Tucker tells her, it is definitely not what you think. And he goes, aside from the fact that Kyle Abbott was in the room with her the entire time. If you don't believe me, here's your call him. He will definitely not lie for me. You know. So Ashley, she goes, well, what is going on? So he finally tells her the whole story about the singer, the couple, Adam blackmailing. That's how Phyllis got from under his thumb. She enlisted Adam. So anyway, Ashley ends up believing him because for one, he was telling the truth. For two, I would have called my nephew, seriously, because Tucker has lied to her, cheated on her twice. I'd have said, you know what? I just got to make sure old habits ain't repeating themselves. Kyle is and Ashley. I want to apologize for Tucker interrupting your evening with Audra last night. See, I wouldn't have said, was my newly married husband in a room with Audra? No. I want to apologize for my husband interrupting your evening with Audra last night. Kyle would have said one or two things. Interrupted what evening with Audra? I wasn't with Audra last night. Or don't worry about it, Aunt Ashley, or Ashley, and forget Aunt. They just call people by their first names, your aunt, your uncle, Aunt. Now, Abby's the only one. Well, maybe they do say. Maybe they do, because Abby definitely says Uncle Jack and Aunt Tracy. Kyle does say Aunt Tracy and maybe Aunt Ashley. Maybe he does. Okay. It'd be like, you know what, Aunt Ashley, he wasn't even there that long, and don't worry about it. I'm just surprised he wasn't with you. Something like that, right? That would have saved face, and I would have got to the bottom of it. But either way, I would get to the bottom of it, because I want to set a precedent right now that you disappear on me in the middle of the night, I'm going to find out what's happening. I'm just saying. So anyway, they decide, Diane gives Jack a prenup, signed prenup. All Jack needs to do is sign it. Michael Baldwin drew it up. Actually, it's the post-nup because they're already married. Oh, Jack didn't want to sign it. Signing this means I don't have faith that our marriage will last forever. And I believe and I have faith in our love. How many times you been married, Jack Abbott? Right? A whole bunch of times. Jack Abbott's been married, what, 5 times? Easy. And each time he thought it would last forever. So what are you talking about? Wealthy Jack Abbott, millionaire Jack Abbott. I don't need one of these. Yes, you absolutely positively do. And see, truth be told, I don't know what Miss Ashley was thinking either. Ashley needed a prenup. And for that matter, Tucker too. He just got mega bucks for his company. Every wealthy person like that need a prenup. Because see, here, all it's saying is, what I'm coming into this marriage with, if for some reason this marriage don't last, how many times you been married, Ashley? If somehow this marriage don't last, I'm leaving with what I came in with, and you're leaving with what you came in with. Now, things we built together while we were married, now we got to split that. See, Diane is getting the better end of the stick because her part of whatever they built together, and she's going to profit on, is definitely worth more than what she came in to the relationship with. But anyway, so no. And she goes, it'll show everybody I wasn't just after you for your money, Jack, because I'm not. I know you're not. So then sign it. This will calm the naysayers. She goes, I hear the gossip, Jack. From what? From Ashley? He goes, not just from Ashley. She said, you and Carla are the only two people who really accepted me. I hear the gossip around Jabot. This will set my record straight and where I stand. I have no ulterior motives in getting this company or taking money from you. So ultimately, he decides to sign it. They take a picture and send the picture to Ashley. And Ashley sees it. And she goes, "Ooh, Jack must have woke up. He got a post-nup agreement signed here. I wonder how did Diane take that? Bet she didn't like it." And so Tucker looked it over and she goes, "What is it? Does it look like it's got any loopholes she could use?" He goes, "It looks pretty ironclad to me." And I'm thinking, and he's thinking, because look, you don't have one against me and you got a bunch of valuable patents. But anyway, um, so they're talking and Tucker said, "You know what, Ashley? Why don't we get our own place? Seriously. You know what? We're married now. Jack and Diane are married. Don't you want to just get out of that?" You know? And she looked at him and she said, "You know what? Yeah, yes, I do." He goes, "We could stay here till we find a place." And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I don't know if I'd stay in a hotel room in the four walls till we find a place. Bottom line, Abby got a house that ain't being used, the Carlton house. Go talk to your daughter and say, "Honey, can I look? Let me live in," because that used to be when Abby left the first time. She gave the house. Well, not gave it. Ashley was the one living in that house. And then when Ashley left the show, one of her mini sabbaticals to go do on days, the house, Abby moved back into that. It's just like a revolving door. As a matter of fact, when Abby and Chance started dating, remember, Abby was living in her own house, the Carlton house. She had to move from her house to the Chancellor house. So let's move back to that house, Ashley. It's a beautiful house, right? So anyway, I don't know about all that. So they go home, and Jack and Diane, because they're out on the terrace, Jack and Diane right now, they're in the lobby, in the atrium of the house, getting ready to go out the door to go to work. And Ashley and Tucker come in, and he goes, "Did you see the posting up?" She says, "Yeah. I bet Diane had a fit when you gave it to her." And he goes, "Actually, it was Diane's idea." And Ashley looked, and Diane said, "Jack didn't want to sign it, but I convinced him to." And Ashley's like, well. Mm-hmm. And they're both giddy. And Jack says something about what's going on or whatever he says. She says, they said, "We are moving out." And Diane and Jack's eyes perked up. "We are going to buy a place of our own." And so Diane says, it was like, "Well, you know what? We're on our way to work. We don't want to interrupt you. We don't want to interrupt y'all packing. Bye." Right? And so that's funny. So there we go. So now Jack and Ashley and Tucker are moving out, which is about time. So we have Sally, who just got the rug completely pulled from under her by Victor Newman. It's just sitting in the park probably texting Chloe saying, "Look, we got to start all over again." Poor Chloe. She can't get a handle on a partnership, right? Now, mind you, Chloe did pretty much all the work while Sally was bedridden. I don't know why Chancellor Winters couldn't have just kept Chloe. But, oh, that's right. Victor terminated Victor just went ahead and bulldozed that whole contract, right? So Adam says, "Hey, Sally, how did your meeting go?" And she said, when do you start your new job?" "There is no new job." He said, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Victor Newman pulled the rug right out from under me. He says there's not going to be a design division at Newman, and it's because of you. He has to devote all his time keeping you and Nick in line. And Adam's like, he can't do that. And so she goes, yeah, he can, and he did. He goes, mind you, he did after he made sure Chancellor Winters already have another design firm. And Adam is like, oh, look, Sally, I am going to make sure that you and I are going to be working together. I am going to get Newman Media. It is going to be mine. It is. And when it is mine, I want you to run it. And she says, Adam, you don't even know if you have a job right now. you know, you don't even know. So she's just like, but yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for this, And so it bummed him out. Oh, I'll go speak to him. She goes, look, he already said decision's final. It's not going to happen now, and it's not going to happen ever. So that she broke the news to him. And then we had the whole Connor saga. After Adam leaves that, he gets a call from Chelsea. But mind you, before she calls him, Connor is depressed, upset. They're out on the atrium of Crimson Lights. He doesn't want to talk to his mother. He doesn't want to tell her what's wrong, but she knows something's wrong. She goes, you haven't been sleeping properly. Please talk to me. And he goes, fine. She goes, I could clearly see you are not fine. And Connor, whatever it is, you could tell me, you know that, right? Oh, he didn't want to say nothing. And Billy came in to the coffee house, and Chelsea looked out and she saw him in there. And he looked at her and she kind of like kind of beckoned to come. So he comes out to the atrium and he says, hey, Connor. Hey, Chelsea. How's it going? So Chelsea says, Connor has not been sleeping at night. He's been having nightmares. There's something wrong. He does not want to talk to me. And so Adam's like, really, Bud? Is that true? Is that true? And he goes, well, do you mind if I, you mind if we talk, Connor? So Chelsea says, I'm sure Connor would love to talk to you. He says, anybody aside but his mother. So she goes, I'll give you guys some privacy. She gets up and she goes inside of Crimson Lights, sits at a table. So Billy sits down and he's talking to Connor, and he gets it out of Connor that he hates Walnut Grove. He does not want to go back there. His only friend was Johnny, and Johnny and Katie are going to a different school in the fall. And he goes, when Johnny leaves, I will have no one. And Billy said, I'm sure there's some. He goes, no, I have no friends. And he said, and I don't want to go back to Walnut Grove. I hate that school. And so it came out that he's being bullied, but not necessarily bullied as in beat up bullied, but bullied as in words. And words can hurt more than anything. Because see, let's not forget, Connor can throw down, okay? Connor don't care how big the kid is. He gonna lay you out. So you could tell it's words that are really just hurting him. And so he says, he goes, they talk about my mom who's disturbed. They talk about my disturbed mom and my dad who's always in trouble. He said, and I feel like I have to protect both of them. He said, I'm so tired. I just want to leave. So Billy talked about his nightmares that he has, and we got to talk to the people that love us and let them help. I mean, your mom doesn't know you're going through this. Your mom doesn't know you're being bullied. And he goes, well, he don't want to talk to her because he don't know what kind of state of mind she's in. He doesn't want her to regress and go back down that path. See, which is what happens when your children feel they need, your little kids feel they need to take care of you versus the other way around, right? So he goes, I'm just tired. I want to go upstairs and I want to lay down. And Billy says, fine. Go on upstairs. So he goes into the coffee house and he tells Chelsea, what Connor said about being bullied, what Connor said about having to protect her and Adam. And he really just wants to, he does not want to go back to Walnut Grove. And Chelsea's like, oh, he shouldn't have to feel like he's got to protect me. And so her phone rings and it's Anita. Connor had gone upstairs, called his grandmother Anita, and said he wanted to live with her. Could he come stay with her? And we all know how Anita is. Anita is not grandmama material. Anita immediately called Chelsea and said, look, what's going on in your house, girl? You know, I barely wanted to raise you, right? I got a little scheme going right now. I don't need a kid interrupted it. Oh, she didn't say that, but that's how Anita is. Anita was no kind of mother to Chelsea. Okay, she taught Chelsea all the tricks of grifting and stealing. Anita. So she goes, oh my God. So she goes, Billy's like, what happened? She goes, Connor went upstairs and called Anita and asked if he could go live with her. I'm going to go talk to him. So she goes upstairs and guess who's gone? Connor and some of his stuff. Backpack, Connor is booking it. He goes, peace out of this town. So Sally's still at the park, sitting there contemplating, what am I gonna do now? She sees Connor walking by. She's like, hey, Connor. And she's looking at no adults. She goes, where are you going by yourself? She goes, I'm going to a friend's house to spend the night. Oh, okay. So Connor comes over to her and he says, I'm sorry about your baby. And she says, thank you. I'm sorry too. And so he asked her, how was she? And she says, oh, I'm getting better. It was rough in the beginning, didn't want to talk about it. She goes, you know how that is. You just don't want to talk about something. And he goes, yeah. So she goes, you know what, Connor? Can you do me a favor? He goes, well, I guess I better be going to my friend's house. She said, before you go, can you go over to that truck, little vendor truck down over there? Can you give me some water, a bottle of water? And get yourself a bottle of water too. So she peels off some cash and gives it to him. As soon as he walks away, she calls Adam. Hey, Adam, did you guys give Connor permission to go to a friend's house to spend the night by himself? And Adam's like, no, So she goes, well, he's like, where are you? She goes, we're in Chancellor Park. And he goes, okay, we're coming. And she goes, you know what? Look, give me a chance to talk to him. He seems like he needs to talk, and I will talk him into coming back to Crimson Lights. So Adam says, okay. So Chancellor had already gotten there. And Chelsea's freaking out. And Adam says, he's fine. He's in the park. He's with Sally. He says he's going to spend the night at a friend's house. Sally's going to talk to him and she's going to bring him back. So Sally talks to him and talks about his feelings, and he's just saying how he hates, being there. He so many things have happened, and yada, 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 and changes and carrying on. So she talks him into, okay, and that is, you have gone through a lot, this year, but running away. She goes, you really weren't going to a friend's house, right? He goes, no. She said, running away ain't the answer. She says, look, let me take you back to the coffee house. And your mom and dad are worried sick about you. And talk to them. Talk to them about how you are feeling. Okay? And he's like, yeah, right. Because look, he's thinking, my grandma don't live that close anyway. I don't know how I was going to get from Genoa City to wherever she's at. He hadn't thought that plan out. So they go back to the coffee house. And Chelsea and Adam, of course, they're happy and relieved to see him, and she's like, running away is not the answer. And he just says, I and Sally. Adam looks at Sally, and Sally looks at Adam like, remember, Sally's the one that found Connor before, right? And so he says, I hate that school, and I do not want to go back to that school. And so they're talking, and he's like, I think that they kind of leave it, there, that they're talking to Connor. So we're gonna see, where that goes, what happens, with that, about Anita's house, because Anita's house is a definite no-go. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But anyway, everybody, that's it. That's it. There's no comments in Comment Corner. I will be back on Monday with another daily recap of The Young and the Restless.